Read all of those, the rest are ruined books which are not useful right now. Is this his remain? Oh God. His remains here. Okay, Kajo, apparently we're going to go outside and talk to a ghost. Okay, Kajo. Oh. Well, I thought the guy was sat right here. Ah. Lake house. Ski. Oh. Lake house. How did I survive that? And where's Kajo? Okay. What the hell just happened? Kajo, are you okay? You alright, dude? Well,
if anyone sneaks up on us, I'll smell them coming.
That might not be an option, Kajo.
We will see.
Okay, what's going on here? Explore the Forgotten City for a way out. Well, that's not happening anytime soon, is it? Optional. Enter the lake house. Don't know about that. We still haven't found the brother unless we're going to go with the assumption that that is him lying on the floor there after hanging himself. I kind of think it probably is. And it seems to want me to go to this very creepy lake house over here. My question to myself is, what the hell are you doing, man? Are you mad? Answer, probably yes. But I don't think we've got much of a choice, being perfectly honest. What the hell else are we going to do? I mean, there was that stack of coffins, maybe, but I don't know that that's a good idea either. Quite like torchlight in here, believe it or not. Why all the burnt corpses? It really is very, very weird. Is there something? There is something there. Kajo, I'm going for a swim. I doubt this door opens. Sunken house. It does open. I'm still underwater though. Is there any air in here? No, time to go, time to go, time to go. Oh my god. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for some air inside it. What the hell was all that then? So a sunken house. What else have we got here? Because I'm not really seeing much of anything else. Apart from the salmon. Can we get through this gap? We can. Is this anything? No, it isn't. Probably confused the hell out of Kajo now. Can I get up on this side? There is a boat, apparently. Just has a stack of fishing lines in it. And they had trees here, but they cut them all down. is that? Oh, I thought I could see the sky, but no, it's one of those things. Okay, I've totally lost Carjo now. Okay, there's some magical something here. Not sure I'm trusting that. What is that? Oh, you're there. Nicely done, Carjo. I was getting slightly worried you'd got bored of hanging around trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. Not that I blame you, because I'm not sure myself. Are we going to check this out then? Let's hope there's no more nasty surprises. Oh god. Okay, I assume we've just gone through that blue swirly thing. Metelius is no. Well, I found a note, Kaja.
7 years ago, I discovered this wondrous city uninhabited. Others soon followed, heeding my invitation, and our community grew and prospered under my rule. But as I write this, I am alone once again, for my subjects have been the victims of an unspeakable atrocity. This is why, at the expense of my own life, I must open a portal that will take you into the past, before all this began. Beloved reader, you must go back, investigate what set this atrocity in motion, and prevent it by any means necessary.
Okay, so time travel.
Khajiit got your back.
Kajo, are you writing on that note, or are you making a new one?
You are taking us somewhere warm, I trust.
Probably writing a new one. All the other books would seem to be ruined books. Okay, nothing dramatically interesting in here, other than that, and a skeleton.
You are taking us somewhere warm, I trust.
Kaja would like very much to get out of here. Can't say I blame him. Strange door. Oh, we've just gone through the purple thing and it's doing something. Forget me not. We just gone back in time. Kajo.
Somewhere warm, I trust.
I think, my friend, we are back in time. That's, yeah. There's a tower in the center that's, well, causing that to be a lot brighter. There is still a sunken house.
You there? Where did you come from?
Difficult to explain, but yes, I have just arrived.
Strange. It looks like you just came out of the Jarl's private lake house.
I got lost, like I did. There was a time portal in there which brought me here from the future. He's not going to be believing this, but at least we're telling him the truth.
What? Oh, I see. You're a little bit crazy. Well, you're in good company here, my friend. Lots of us weren't thinking straight when we arrived.
Seriously, what is today's date? How far back in time are we?
It's the first day of last seed, I believe.
Okay, and what year?
I guess you hit your head pretty hard coming down the shaft, huh? It's the 194th year of the Fourth Era, of course. Look, you seem a little... you know. So I'll make this nice and simple for you. Live by our laws, and we'll all get along just fine.
Your laws. I should probably learn them then, eh?
Don't hurt anyone, don't steal anything. Same as anywhere else. Only the punishment here is much, much worse. The Jarl can tell you more, and help you get settled in. Might even have some quarters for you. I can take you to him if you like.
I'll make my own way.
Suit yourself. You'll find him at the top of the citadel. He's got the whole floor to himself. And his daughter. And if you have any questions about this place, I'd talk to Broll the Scholar. He seems to know a lot about a lot of things. See you around.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd rather take a little look around myself, actually. We did see that tent over there, but that was in the future. Now, for us, it's 6 years ahead. So the old man who hung himself wouldn't be the brother if he came back in time 6 years. He wouldn't have become an old man in that amount of time. So there's a tent here and...
We're not supposed to talk to new people till they see the Jarl.
Elsweyr is an arid land
Hello.
of deserts.
Kajo, I'm talking to the strange man. What's your story?
My what? My story? Oh, do you want to hear about me? I'm sorry, but my memory is not very good. I only remember some things. I came here with my brother Horrible. He used to look after me, and he said he always would, but then he died. Now nobody looks after me. I'm not very good at remembering things. Sometimes I forget, so I need help. That's why I need some help finding Horrible's treasure.
Okay, what are you looking for?
Oh, Horrible said I should only tell someone I trust. Only someone I know. Not you. I don't know you yet. Do I? No, not yet.
Okay. Do you know of a way out of here, or?
A way out? Oh, no, I can't leave. I need to find Horrible's treasure first.
Okay, I'll be going now.
Oh, all right.
Seems quite vulnerable. I wonder what the treasure is. It's probably either something incredibly valuable, but I'm meant to think it's not. Or it's just not. But I don't know which. He seems to think he's looking for it here, of all places, but okay. This feels like a bright sunny day in here. I'm assuming that beam hitting the... whatever the Dwemer thing is there. That's how this is supposed to be, which makes me think that whenever we go to that old Dwemer ruin, where it has a very large one of those, but everywhere is dark Blackreach, that's it. And if we go there, perhaps at one time,
We travel lightly and
there
can
was
escape
some
at a
great
moment's
beam
notice.
doing exactly that job. So it's not meant to be a dim glow, rather it's meant to give off a great deal of light. The underground levels, we never did check those out.
I would rather be back home than elsewhere, but I have little choice.
These are now houses that can be entered. Interesting. And now they have names as well. The Golden Sentinel Tavern. Tavern. Yeah, that sort of sounds like it might be an idea. A little dark, but okay. Does look like a... Okay. Hi.
Sweetheart, we'll have plenty of time to get to know each other. Once you've spoken with the Jarl.
Okay, what's your story?
You want to hear about little old me? Aren't you adorable? But wouldn't you rather hear what I know about everyone else around here? Go on. Ask me.
Do you know a way out of here?
Only one way out of this city, and that's through the bottom of a mug of moonshine, if you get me. Solve all your problems. At least for a while. But then again, some folks will overdo it. Ulrin, the Dunmer fellow, can't miss him. Hit the drinks pretty hard after his wife, Maisie, disappeared. Just sits there, night after night. Poor guy. Wish I knew what happened to her. Caught lots of people talking, but nobody seems to know anything. Odd.
Okay, what do you have for sale?
Take a good look. See anything you like?
Lockpick, potato moonshine. We saw some of that in a room. I think I even picked it up. Take a sweet roll. Have you heard any rumors?
Have you seen Rygus walking around in that shiny armor of his, all paranoid, like those dwarven statues are going to spring to life any minute?
Yeah, I kind of share his paranoia about those. I'll be going now, though.
Oh, so soon? Well, you know where to find me, honey.
Apparently I know where to find you. Probably in here. Tavern. It's actually quite a cozy looking place, all things considered. Who are you? Vitus.
I trust you're on your way to speak with the Jarl.
Everybody seems really keen that I do that, don't they? What's your story?
Name's Castellus Vitus, military engineer of the Imperial Legion. Out of action right now, but don't worry, I'm still in the service. What about you?
I'm staying out of that conflict, yes.
Now that's just the sort of cowardly nonsense I'd expect from a Stormcloak sympathizer. Off with you then. Go on. Go bother somebody else.
Try persuasion? Come on, we're all friends down here.
Well, I suppose you're right. But don't think that friendship will last if we ever get out of here. You understand that, right?
Well, do you know a way out of
If
here?
I did, I'd be up there, fighting the good fight for the Legion, and not stuck in this hole like an old bear during winter.
Had another question, apparently.
Spit it out, then.
What have you been working on in your workshop?
Ah, yes, my workshop. Well, of course, as an engineer through and through, I couldn't resist the urge to dismantle some of this dwarven technology. How complicated can it be, I thought. As it turns out, it's extremely complicated. You see these gleaming dwarven busts in every room? Well, I think I know what they are. They all seem to be connected to the pipes running all over the city and down the front of the citadel. And I've seen these things before in other ruins, but these are different. Their eyes are glowing with blue light. Have you noticed? But whenever you see one of these things, remember, someone or something is watching everything you do, waiting for you to break the dwarves' law.
Okay. Do you understand the technology behind the citadel?
Yes, well, not completely. A little. I think I understand the pipes that run all over the place. See, they mainly carry water. There's a single pipe on the top floor bringing water from outside the citadel inside. Water then trickles down through each floor to the lake. But that's not all. It seems the water flowing through these pipes causes these gears to rotate. And when that happens, they somehow create light. The dwarves were brilliant engineers. I doubt I could hold a candle to them. Not that I would need to, with all the lights in this place.
Okay, well, I guess we can talk to you later. So
You're taking us somewhere warm, I trust.
the dwarven things with eyes are watching everyone. So basically, Kevan wouldn't know the concept of Big Brother and CCTV. But we do. Actually feels a little over bright in here. Okay, so that's the tavern. This is Branda's house. And here's the market. So 4 years from now, this is going to tumble over for some reason. Or one of them. No, it was this one with the sign on it. Which is Burnham's Fresh Produce. So, explore the Forgotten City for a way out. Oh, forget me not. Find a way back to your original timeline, but we've got to stop whatever disaster it was from actually happening. Talk to the Jarl, talk to Broll the Scholar to find out about the city. Okay, Broll the Scholar would be... talk to the Jarl. Got no marker for Broll the Scholar. I just got to spot him walking around, or her walking around. Are you Broll the Scholar? Saphira. No, apparently you're not. There's lots of potatoes and such growing. So there's sufficient power in those lights. Broll the Scholar's Chambers. Okay.
Ah, newcomer. You should head on up to the Citadel. Make yourself known to the Jarl.
If anyone sneaks up on us...
Carjo, I think we're going to have to go there. Hello?
Ah, newcomer. You should head on up to the Citadel. Make yourself known to the Jarl.
We could not enter this place in our timeline, so what's your story?
My story? What a strange question. You presuppose that my life is a simple linear sequence of events which can be summed up in a verbal narrative? Well, that's nonsense, of course. First, most of it was so long ago I barely remember. Second, you would have to assume that the account I give you is biased heavily in my favor, and is therefore quite unreliable. And finally, my story is really much less interesting than this mysterious place. Now, do you have any sensible questions, or can I get back to work?
I just wanted to know what you do and where you're from.
Well, why didn't you say so? I research Dwarven history and technology, and I'm originally from Kragenmoor in Morrowind. Any other questions?
Do you know anything about time travel?
Time travel? You know, as it happens, I do. It was a great obsession of mine for years after my wife passed. I thought if I could go back, I gave up on that idea a long time ago. But recently the Jarl has asked to see my research notes. How strange that you should now take an interest too. Can I ask what the nature of your interest is in this unusual subject?
You appear to have succeeded in the future. I travel back here from the future, and I want to go back.
I don't quite know what to say to that. How can I put this charitably? Perhaps you're tired and emotional and need some rest.
Tired and emotional,
But
yeah.
I always enjoy discussing my theories with a receptive mind. So I'll humor you. What did you want to ask?
If You travelled to the past. How would you return to the present?
For argument's sake, if you found yourself in that position, you'd have only two options. To live out your days in the past, or force a paradox. A paradox, you see, would involve changing the past so as to prevent the events which caused you to travel back in time in the first place. But you'd be taking a big risk by doing that. Who knows what the consequences would be? Some say that whatever you do, it will lead you right back to the future that took you back in time in the first place. An eternal loop, if you will. But me, I believe that creating a paradox should fling you back to your original time, having changed the past for you and everyone else.
Okay, how would I create a paradox?
Well, let's say for argument's sake that you really have traveled here from the future. You could create a paradox in a few different ways. Essentially, you could do anything that would remove your means or motivation to return to the past. For example, you came here to achieve some goal. Achieving that goal would mean you will never have been motivated to come here. A paradox. Or, if the thing that allowed you to travel back in time is still here, as a past version of itself, you could simply destroy it, I suppose. That would mean, of course, that you will never have been able to travel back in time. Another paradox. But doing so could have terrible consequences. But if you really are from the future, as unlikely as that is, telling me or anybody else what happens next could have disastrous consequences too. I think it's best if we talk about something else.
Okay, you know a way out of here?
Now that's an interesting question. I personally don't know any way out, no. However, I have a theory. It's more of a hypothesis, really. My thinking is that if there was a way out of here, the dwarves who built this place must have known about it.
Okay, but the dwarves disappeared ages ago.
True, but we can learn all sorts of things about them from what they left behind. Inscriptions, architecture, relics, statues. And while I've discovered many things here, there are some parts of the city I haven't been able to get to. I'm most interested in the palace, above the lake. Unfortunately, it's sealed up tight. Only one man ever managed to enter, and he never came out. That was Narnibus, and we haven't heard from him in years. Strange fellow. I believe he was looking for the secrets of the dwarves too. If you could find a way in there, I'm sure it would tell us a great deal about this place. Who knows what secrets we could uncover?
Okay. What about the big glowing orb above us?
That is the sun under the ground. Or at least that's how it's referred to in the dwarven text we've managed to translate. I must confess, I haven't the faintest idea of how it works. But it seems to be giving us light and allowing us to grow crops, even under the ground.
Yeah.
Of course, if it ever stops glowing, for whatever reason, we'll all be in quite a lot of trouble. But don't concern yourself with such dark thoughts. I'm sure we have nothing to worry about.
Okay, what can you tell me about the laws here?
Well, the dwarves who built this city left inscriptions in the citadel, which translate to, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." My research leads me to believe that if a single member of our community sins, it'll trigger an event, killing us all. I believe such an event occurred some years ago, which is why Metellus found the city littered with burnt corpses. But to this day, there are many questions we simply don't have answers for. How is the dwarves' law still being enforced? How does it work? And we may never know, as long as nobody attacks or steals from anybody else. Until we know more, we all need to be on our best behavior.
Well, that's interesting, because when we arrived here, there already were quite a few corpses. So I'm wondering then, Is it possible this has all happened before? But apparently that isn't a question I can ask this person. Curious. Okay, I'll be going now.
Very well. Come back if you think of any questions about something you discover.
If anyone sneaks up on us, I'll smell them coming.
I don't know, this guy seemed quite interesting, Kaja, but where does... This just leads where he... Underground tunnels. He sleeps right by them.
Ah, newcomer. You should head on up to the Citadel. Make yourself known to the Jarl.
I think everybody's going to be telling me that. I think maybe we should do that. What was the other optional? Okay, now. Ask Ulrin about disappearance of his wife. We could do that. You look very shiny, Kaja. Just check something quickly. It's just very shiny here. Chambers. Lukey. Wonder where Unreal was then. Give me one of these. Sure we'll find it eventually. Are you the guy who thinks that's coming back to life? Rikus.
New in town, huh? Better go and see the Jarl before you start any trouble.
What's your story?
Get out of my face, milk drinker.
Careful with that thing. Okay, and you are...
Oh, I remember the first time I met the Jarl. I was so nervous.
Okay, well, I'm not nervous of meeting a Jarl. That's not actually true, is it? Yes, I am. Abandoned Palace. Let's take a quick look here, Kaja. Is this still going to have those graves? It does have the graves. He must have gotten up there using these. Managed to get along the pipe and drop down. It has to be. I think these are slightly higher now as well, like on this side, Kaja. It looks as though he got up here, got onto this lamp, and then used those ones to get onto that ledge, and then probably up on top of the pipe. I think we'll come back here for a better look at that. That's not stealing. Quite clearly, we are simply looting things. Okay, well, we should find the guy who unfortunately lost his wife here. That's obviously tied to something. I don't know what exactly, but I think it probably is. Do they have quarters in the Citadel, which, let's face it, is rather impressive. Now, in our timeline, we miraculously fell from there to there without any real... Well, we took quite a hit, but we weren't terribly injured. I'm assuming... Do I actually have the journal still? What the hell was it called? Dusty Journal, was it this? No, not that one. Fate of the Snow Elves, wasn't that? Oh, of course, yes, that's Arwen's book. He would be very interested in this place. So we've actually come back in time to before the time the museum miraculously appeared and had always been there. There was an Did we pick it up or did we leave it behind? There was a journal that had a log of where everybody lived and what the Jarl knew about them, I am assuming. Oh god. Habik.
Welcome, newcomer. I trust you've spoken with the Jarl already?
No, but I don't have an option to tell you that, so let's just ask you what your story is.
I'm Habik. I live out back with my wife, Miranda. We used to live in Solitude, but, we had to leave. Found this place by accident, like most. The Jarl needed someone to mind the store. So I volunteered. Doesn't make any money, of course. Not enough customers. The Jarl says he likes to keep us busy and out of trouble. But of course, he and all his cronies in the Citadel never seem to lift a finger.
Elsweyr is an arid land.
Why did you leave Solitude?
Our son was working at my stables outside the city. He was alone when he had a visit from some Imperial, a cousin of the High King. This Imperial thought he'd just take one of the horses as a tithe. Guess he didn't think a 12-year-old boy was going to stop him. But Limar wouldn't stand for it. And as the thief rode off, my son managed to shoot an arrow into his shoulder. But I wasn't there at the time. I came back from the market to find my son's body, trampled in the dirt. It was... I can't begin to describe it.
Oh, God.
I was shattered. I went straight to Torig's court and demanded justice. But I guess that word doesn't mean much to an Imperial. Instead, he seized my stables and told me if I ever set foot in Solitude again, my wife and I would end up the same way as Limar. So we left. Wandered Skyrim for a while, and eventually wound up here. I was hoping this place would be better. I was wrong.
If the Jarl is so unfair, why don't you overthrow him? Just out of curiosity, not trying to start a revolution or anything.
I wish it was that simple. But with the Dwarves' law, everybody here is terrified of doing anything wrong, in case it gets us all killed. The Dwarves wrote, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." But we don't know what they meant by sin. Theft. Violence, probably. But maybe they meant all sorts of things, like dishonesty or disobedience to the Jarl. That's what Metellus would like us to think, anyway. So I could ignore his orders. Sure. I could even lead an uprising against him. Gods know most of us are sick of him, but I'd be risking the lives of everyone here. And I just don't want to be responsible for that. So here I am, running my shop. Could be worse.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's talk about maybe the Dwarves' law is just a ruse to ensure obedience.
Don't be a fool. That sort of dangerous talk could get us all killed. If you don't believe me, go and talk to Broll. Dunmer fellow. Can't miss him.
Kinda did. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear about that anyway, so let's talk about something else.
All right.
Do you know a way out?
No, I don't. But I'd wager that if anyone does know a way out, it's the Jarl. But of course, if he told anyone, he'd be ruling over an empty city.
Okay. Going now.
All right. Thanks for stopping by.
Apparently night has fallen while we've been talking. Yeah, and this is a little lighter than it was when we first got here, but still darker. Culver's house. is Mars house. It was somebody began with a U, wasn't it? Ulrin, that was it. Let's see if Ulrin is at home. Seems not. Letter from Marassi to Ulrin. Dear Ulrin, I don't know how to tell you this enough, but you are in a beautiful man. I know you hate being trapped down here, but I honestly don't mind it as long as I'm here with you. I'm home. I love you always. Oh. And then she died. A locked room. I've read this, apparently. Yana was precisely the kind of student her mentor Athkurum despised, the professional amateur. He enjoyed all the criminal types who were his usual pupils at the stronghold, from the common burglar to the more sophisticated blackmailers. Children and young people with strong career ambitions, which the art of science and lockpicking could facilitate, were always interested in simple solutions, the easy way, but people like Yana were always looking for exceptions, possibilities, exotica. For pragmatists like Camun, it was intensely vexing. Okay, I have read that apparently. What else has he been reading? Wormer inquiries and her coin. But anyway, he's not here. But apparently we should maybe talk to him before continuing. I don't believe he has a marker, however. Yeah, ask Ulrin about the disappearance of his wife. Could he have gone to the tavern by now? She said he turned up there. The underground levels we still haven't visited. She said he comes there at night, so he's not at home. This was the tavern. It's now 8 PM. Could that be him, or could that be the Jarl? Domitus. Let's not talk to him first before this Jarl, I think. In here. Yes,
Oh, hello there, dear. New in town?
Kind of. Shani.
You really should go and see the Jarl before we talk.
Delfund. See, up here, wasn't that a different person? Two people. Vitus and...
I trust you're on your way to speak with the Jarl.
You wouldn't want to keep the Jarl waiting, would you?
Fine. I think we're going to have to go and talk to the Jarl. Arja. We can probably still talk to that other guy afterward. And then I am going to make a concerted effort to get into that palace. Okay, the Jarl is over here somewhere. It's quite a beautiful place in its own way at this time of night. Another dwarven inscription above there. I'd love for the Explorers Guild to come here and investigate, although I don't know that it's such a good idea. Mind you, they would be sensible, you see. They would build scaffolding to come down and not dive down a hole like I just did, like an idiot. Do they need lights? Do they automatically switch themselves on still? This is pretty much where we landed, so I can't imagine there's an easy way back through. Can you, Kaja? Everybody arrives through here and drops into that pool and climbs out. It's an awfully long way back up though. Very long way back up. I think the only way you would get back out would be a flood and then come up on the water itself. If that's all possible.
Something strange happens to Khajiit when they arrive.
Well, lots of Strange things seem to happen, Karjo, let's be honest. Many. That's the marker to go home, apparently. Skyrim seems to think that that's how you do it. I'm wondering, though. Is it? Okay, so he's at the top of this citadel. And the citadel was the building with the automated lighting. This was... Now, we visited these rooms in the future. So the stuff we looted is still here. There's a paradox, Karjo. I still have items from the future, which are the items we see here now. So two things existing at the same time from different times. Probably best not to overthink that one.